Yep. Okay. All in favor? D, unpaid leave of absence request, number 3342 was it was denied for the unpaid leave of absence. Procedural issues, a recording of this meeting is being made and shall be kept for 30 days as a public record. Pledge of allegiance. Go ahead. Begin.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, roll call. I'm here. Sonny's here. Mario's here. Dwayne's here. Adrian is out tonight. Addison is here. Approve agenda.
I will make a motion to approve the agenda with corrections.
With corrections.
Second.
Hepburn, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Reports. Go ahead. We're going to go with Madison.
First thing, the FFA has their opening and closing ceremonies for the speaker competition coming up on October 4th. So that is kind of like, so before the FFA open to business meeting, they have a ceremony that they conduct, and each officer position has a part that they have to memorize, and so that competition is just how well you can recite your part and the pomp and circumstance of it all. So that's coming up on October 4th. And we'll be sending our officer team, and hopefully we can get our freshman team to compete as well. Today was the Skusd Senior fundraiser, and we got the money counted, and we raised $617. And it was very fun. I participated, but it was very cold. The Skusd Sophomore fundraiser will be the same thing, but for the sophomores, and that will be happening next week on the 26th. Football won against Foothill last Friday, and they'll be playing Colton this Friday at home. Girls volleyball had their first league win against Boron on Tuesday, so yesterday, and then tomorrow we'll be playing KB Kern Valley away. The West Park PTA is hosting their book fair this week, the first book fair of the year, and let's see, Mathletes had their first Mathlete meet today, and they won 4th place. Boys cross country won 1st place in last week's race, and girls cross country got 3rd. Paddleboard practices started, for the juniors it started today, but for our seniors it started on Monday. Juniors will be practicing from 3 to 5, and seniors will be practicing from 7 to 9 p.m. And after that, homecoming week is coming up. So homecoming week will be from I believe it's October 2nd to the 6th. 4th is Powder Puff, and so that's when the board meeting is. So unfortunately, I will not be here because I will be at the Powder Puff game crushing the juniors. The 6th is the homecoming game. And then the 7th is the dance. Tickets are going on sale September 25th through 29th. They'll be $15. And then the 2nd through the 6th of October, they'll be $10, and there'll be no sales after that. There you go.
Okay. We'll let you go. She's discussing practice, right?
Yes, for practice.
Powder Puffs is always a great tradition. Okay, before I continue on, I wanted to, and I think we're going to go ahead and do that. We're going to have a moment of silence for the officer that we lost last week. So if everybody would please just. Okay, thank you. In order to do that, we actually have some of our residents are actually members of the Sheriff's Department, work out of that station in Ruston, so we should at least honor those folks as well. Okay, move on. Communications, RTA.
I basically have no speech, sorry, just here to represent RTA. The truth, this has just been a week of juggling these two worlds. I'm now a teacher and I've had a meeting every afternoon, training tomorrow, and I have just been busy, and busy. So I'm just here.
CSEA, nobody's here. Okay, Madison's already given her report. Anything, Robert's not here, so will we have anything from him? No?
I think yeah, this is on one of his things. So, yeah.
Okay. Assistant Superintendent, Instruction and Curriculum, Dr. Mendez.
Hey, good evening, everyone, as well as our parents and community that join us online. We have some updates here. Solution Tree, PLCs, they continue to work with our sites, with our school sites, in providing coaching and support. Each site has a designated associate that works with them. We are continuing with our academies, reading and math academies. We have them up and running at the elementary school sites. And I know the high school and middle school continue to plan and organize for opportunities there. You started? Okay. Yeah, so middle school has started. I know they're looking at the reading and the math, and you know the purpose is to help support students in terms of increasing their proficiency in those particular subject areas. Rosamond High Early College Campus, they had their back to school night on September 13th, 2023. Had a chance to connect with some parents, visit some of the classrooms, and a lot of the focus was on curriculum, instruction, as well as parent engagement opportunities. Were some of the items that were discussed there at Rosamond High Early College Campus, as well as alternative education, Rare Earth Continuation High School, as well as Abraham Lincoln Advanced Study. Want to share that out. Professional development. We had a Read 180 training for teachers on September 19th. That was in the Parent Center. And we're going to have we're having an iReady professional development for teachers on September 21st. That's going to be at West Park Elementary and Rosamond Elementary. The training is going to be after school. It is optional, but it's for teachers that would like to get additional training in regards to iReady. Okay. We also have Mr. Carr, Mr. Escobar, myself, and Mr. Bajnath. We've been participating in the Ethnic Studies Community of Practice with the Kern County Superintendent Schools. So we're continuing with the series of trainings there. The PLC at Work Cohort 1, so that's going to be offered in Bakersfield. There's 4 sessions, the first one being on Monday, September 25th. And those are for team members that weren't able to join us over the summer at the PLC at Work Institute in Las Vegas. So it's an opportunity for them to participate in that professional development. In particular, our department chairs and our grade level chairs, as well as admin opportunities for them if they weren't able to join us over the summer. Embrace Kern Equity Symposium, that's going to be taking place on September 26th and September 27th, and that's going to be in Bakersfield. Kern County Superintendent Schools Office, they've been providing embedded coaching for designated ELD. They've been going into classrooms. They're providing model lessons as well in regards to designated ELD. We've been working on and complete our Universal Pre-Kindergarten UPK Planning and Implementation Program report. We'll go more details that. We'll go in more details over that. And then had a chance to participate in the Homeless Youth Committee in Bakersfield. That was on September 11th. They were focused on developing partnerships, community partnerships, as well as indicators of human trafficking was the focus of the meeting there. And then school sites continue to reach out to parents and staff for school site council and ELAC membership. That is my report. Any questions?
Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Okay, so Assistant Superintendent, Special Education, Pupil Personnel, Ms. Taylor.
Hello, everybody, and welcome. In our department, we have our mental health leadership team who has calendared monthly parent nights in the parent center for the remainder of the school year. Our first meeting is going to be on October 17th, and it's going to be designed as an open forum, so parents can come by, see all of the information and resources that we have in there, as well as provide us input on any topics that they would be interested in us doing trainings on or giving more information in regard to. So we're looking forward to that. Next thing, we have our Hope Squad students preparing for school site activities on each campus in the district for Mental Health Day, which is October 10th. Our new SEL, social emotional learning groups, have started, and they've been going very successfully so far. Kids are really enjoying them and benefiting from them. And the last thing is we have our new Skusd and Navigate 360 programs up and running, which are designed for doing threat assessments and suicide evaluations, and it provides a central database where everything can be kept, and so people can follow those. And they also, a really big benefit from them is they also offer a lot of training. So all of our threat assessment teams will get extensive training, as well as there's trainings that we can send out for all staff in the district. And they're very spread out trainings, such as there's things on threats, there's things on at-risk youth, how we can better help them and teach them, different kinds of interventions we can provide, how to help students who struggle with drugs and vaping and alcohol abuse, different things like that. So I think it's a very beneficial program for our staff to help our students who are struggling. And that's it for me.
Thank you. Associate Superintendent, Human Resources, Ms. Targus.
Good evening. We are busy over in HR. Today, Monica and Becky went to a job fair over in the hobby for classified staff, so hopefully we'll be able to gain a few more employees. We're still looking for paraeducators is our number one need right now. We always have a need for paraeducators, so anybody that would like to be a paraeducator, we would love to have you. Also, we're getting those notice of employments out to all of our certificated and classified. We sent those out before the end of the school year, but we resend it out right now after the second Monday of September, when anybody that's accrued any units over the summer, they can turn in those units and apply for a step and column increase. So those have gone back out with any adjustments that were needed. Also on the agenda tonight, we have our revised calendar, and so just due to the shortage of instructional minutes, we need to eliminate 4 minimum days. So thank you to RTA for working with us. We sent out a survey, and they had a couple of choices, and so they chose which days would be most beneficial for them. So thank you for that. Once the calendar is approved, we'll be sending that out to all staff and parents. And it will also be posted on the website. And that's it for me. Thank you.
Thank you. Superintendent report, Mrs. Gaines.
Good evening and welcome everyone who's here and who's joining us from home. I'm very excited to announce that next Friday, September 29th at 9 o'clock in the morning, we will have an official groundbreaking, even though construction, the stirring of the dirt at Roseman High School for the new cafeteria has begun already, but we will have our official groundbreaking next Friday. And I can only promise the community and all of the staff at Southern Current. This is going to be a beautiful building and a much needed facility to accommodate our growing population at Roseman High School. That is now over 920 plus students at the high school. So really, really looking forward to this. Kind of have a little thing in my heart for this cafeteria, among other projects that we have. We're also in the midst of negotiations. We will be having day 3 of negotiations with CSEA on October 17th. And it's going well. And we will also begin our negotiations with RTA, our faculty organization, and they start on October 16th. So this is kind of an exciting time to be able to sit across the table and make decisions that are beneficial for both groups, the district as well as our unions. So looking forward to continuing those, and thank both associations for being very pleasant. It's always a nice experience. It's not like we're shooting darts across the tables. Everyone's quite pleasant. I also want to remind everyone that November 7th through the 12th, Southern Current Unified School District, Roseman Municipal Advisory Council, and the Roseman Chamber of Commerce will be hosting the Antelope Valley Vietnam Memorial Wall on the campus of West Park Elementary School. And this wall will be open for viewing 24 hours a day. We are going to allow students to take field trips on November 8th and 9th. All field trips have to be registered through ALMA, and the field trips will be from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. On those 2 days. So if you would like to bring some of your students to see the wall, it's an incredible, I can't say it enough, an incredible replica of the Vietnam Wall in Washington, D.C. Please contact Alma, and she will tell you the best time and date to attend. I also want to take this opportunity to thank our parents and staff. Our enrollment is up. We're at 3,697 students, which is up a little over, I believe, 140 some students from where we ended the school year June 5th. And everyone is doing their very, very best to make sure that the students are accommodated. But what I really love about this year so far, and you'll see this when I present the attendance awards, is last year our attendance during this month was around 90-ish% for the first month. And this year, our top school has an attendance rate of 95.57% in the month of August. So we are returning. Parents, thank you so much for getting your kids to school, and students, I know that one of the reasons you're there every day is because our teachers are doing a great job of engaging you. So I want to thank everybody for that. So at this time, Mr. President, I will present the first month's attendance awards. Okay. So let's start with best attendance elementary, and this was 95.53% attendance. So I was trying to read it upside down. The best attendance for the month of August, which is phenomenal. Mr. Holmes, West Park Elementary. Thank you. Congratulations. And best attendance secondary with an attendance rate of 94.16%, and that goes to Roseman High School. Oh, don't act so surprised. Congratulations, Mr. Bosnett. And our most improved attendance for the month of August with a 94.72% attendance, Roseman Elementary School. Congratulations. Just don't put it on the fence.
No.
Put it up in your office. So those are our 3 attendance awards for the month of August. Keep up the good work. Yeah.
For communication, what's going on with Joanne tonight?
Well, I really don't have much. So. I had a baby. But other than that, I like to see a lot of people, a lot of volunteers at the Vietnam Memorial Wall thing out of Westport. I haven't signed up for the volunteer thing yet, but it will be. Other than that, I didn't see anything. I'm excited about the cafeteria. I had to go over there Monday and see the big machine wall I was talking about, so I did that part. Other than that, nothing else. I'm just glad to see everybody always working together and doing what you guys do, and I appreciate it very much, so thank you for that. That's about it.
Thank you. Mario?
Congratulations on the great attendance. I mean, I don't know if we've ever seen anything that high. How I roll. Humility.
Just kidding. Great kids.
No, whatever you guys are doing, keep it up, because our average before COVID was only like 90, 92, 93, right in there. Keep it up. And I went over the suspension rates of stuff from the first couple of months, and or I guess it'd be a month, 6 weeks, roughly. Very good. Compared to what we had last year, this year's been great. Keep it up, parents. Do a good job with your kids. And just keep it rolling.
Can I just add one thing?
Yes, please.
I just wanted to, I always like to pick on Mr. Bajna. Mr. Bajna, I just want you to know, don't say I didn't warn you, you're 500ths ahead of Tropico only. Just like a day. Couple kids maybe or something. Yeah, real close, right on your tail. Right on your tail. All right.
You better be looking over your shoulder.
Look over your shoulder, sure. That's how close they were all, really, really close. Really close.
That's excellent. Well then.
Yes.
All right, we'll send it over to Sunny.
Hello, everybody. Happy Wednesday. What's today? What, September 20th? What do you know? I was able to visit a few campuses soliciting chicken feed. Weren't you supposed to text me, Mr. Shepherd?
Not till October.
Anyway, so I was able to make it out to West Park, and they held the chicken for me for a while. We collected some donations. I was also able to visit a few classrooms. I got to see Mr. Warfield's classroom and Mrs. Jones's classroom, and all the kids were working on iReady. I was like, what is this iReady business? Tell me about it. And the kids seem to really enjoy it, talking to you about it, talking to you about your curriculum, everything you're doing in your classroom was awesome.
like all of his kids had headphones on. I was like, did they all bring these headphones in? Where did they come from? He was like, no, honey, they came out of my pocket.
No, I use my 3.
Well, you know,
Okay.
it comes out and then it goes back in, right? I was also able to take the chicken to the high school, Mr. Boschna, and I was able to make it to the back to school night at the high school as well. Very informative. I was able to lurk around campus. I saw the College Career Center. I'd never been in there, and I talked to, I wanted to call her Miss Dawn, but that's her name. LaPerry. Yeah. You remember? Same thing. You remember? Yeah. Let's get that. Back in the day. Calm down.
Like, what, 40 years ago? Pretty close.
Yeah.
Was it? What was it?
What was it? What was it? It was not. And I was asking her, I said, what kind of kids come in here? Like, is it open to everybody? Like, what kids are you bringing in? She told me, hey, you know, we're reaching out to juniors and seniors, but anyone's welcome to come in and, you know, get information. And it was very informative, which is great. But I'll be seeing you tomorrow, Mr. Shevler. I will. I'll come on over, and then I will be making my way up. Great. I'll be able to go to RES, and I'll come over there as well. And then I got to see the new buildings over at West Park, and you were telling me about the stuff that's going on over there. So it was I know y'all are busy. I'm busy.
Never too busy for you.
You're spicy tonight, huh? Spicy. Why don't you eat this chicken? All right. Anyway, thank you guys for being here. Parents, you're doing it. And I honestly feel like it's the Achiever Trips. I'm going to give it up to the Achiever Trips. I think that's really like inspiring these parents to get their kids to school on time, because honestly, it's the parents. It's the parents. Come on. Who's getting the kids to school? I think it's helping. So keep it up. Everybody's doing a good job. It's been a pretty mellow year so far. So let's no, not gonna do it. Don't do that. Sorry. That's what you get. Over to you, Bob.
Did you ever say quiet in the hospital? Right? Did you ever say quiet in the hospital? You're not supposed to. So don't do that to school
So again, well, thank you, everybody who is tuning in tonight, and the people that are here. I'm glad to see the attendance is moving up. It's going in a very, very positive direction. So it's a tribute to all the administrators at each of the schools to give you all. Ed, I have to just ask you a quick question. The target policy seems to be working fairly well in your mind?
I've brought you papers once we get to that. I brought you some data to support it.
Well, you know that because we see it a lot. Now I'm going to change just a tiny bit direction. A lot of us up here really don't sit in the classroom with students and so forth. And I decided that I'm going to sub for a while, so I was at another district.
Oh.
We can't do it here. And it was really eye-opening for me on some. I mentioned to Mrs. Gaines, I was at one school and there was this one kid fight. I had to resist, but so forth. But the school that I was at today is actually in my career path, the CTE, similar to what Mr. Armstrong has. And it was impressive on what they have done, and we got to start looking at what we can do to get there. I know we got a money issue, but doesn't mean that we can't dream it. It was very, very well behaved kids because they know what they're doing, they like what they're doing. So there, but I do have a very, knowledge of what the teachers are going through because I'm starting to go through it, and I get it probably a little worse as a substitute. But hey, it's eye-opening, but it's also I like doing it, so I probably will continue on for a while. So it goes from there. She mentioned the Vietnam Wall. I've already signed up, so I will be there to volunteer. So I hope a lot of folks do sign up and volunteer. And other than that, I'm basically done. Subcommittees. Anybody have anything?
Just on the building side, Tropical is moving right along. We're expecting the next set of buildings on October the 16th. Yes, if I remember right. Speaking of that Tropical campus, help a lot with having the volleyball and basketball courts opened up to you guys.
That's tremendous.
Okay, good. We have resolved a bunch of the issues that we were having with drainage and that kind of stuff's all been handled, and that's on the move.
There was no issues whatsoever when we had that. We had other issues like with the gym and stuff, but when we had all that rain, it was the nights we were out there. We could have been out there on Monday with all that rain. There was nothing. We went out on the blacktop. There was nothing.
So it's going perfectly.
So,
that was one of the issues that I was having wonders about. And then the cafeteria we walked at just a couple of weeks ago and figured out where all the fencing had to go. And there's still some hiccups that will get squared away, but they're getting there. They brought in earth movers already to start working dirt. So yeah, that project is on its way. We'll have another project that we'll be bringing to the board 2 to 3 weeks from now that we'll have to look at. And then there's another project coming up just after that one. We're running out of room. We've got kids moving in left and right, and we're running out of room. You guys at Rosewood Elementary, I don't think you guys have got an empty classroom, do you? Yeah, and then we just put in 5 so we can alleviate some of your headaches over there. And hopefully we'll get those going in, I think, a month. They're supposed to be ready to be inhabited.
I think so, or even maybe a little less.
In about a month, you'll have some classrooms that you can move kids into. So, yeah. That's what we're in on the building side. Okay.
Okay. A little bit on the safety and security subcommittee and committee. We did meet yesterday. We're getting into some serious discussions on what we should be looking at as far as exercises, probably more in the walkthrough type thing, rather than come in and go, surprise, we've got an exercise, so we can start training the kids on what to do. So in other words, if we do a lockdown, we go through a walkthrough on the lockdown, not running everybody crazy or things like that. So we're looking at that. We also got information on a program we're looking at called Catapult. The committee asked, and it's supposed to go to Robert, to set up a Zoom meeting for the folks on the safety security to look at Catapult. And I think it's Gary Johnson. Is Gary Johnson?
Jones.
Gary Jones. I did get the information for him. I got to get in touch with him. He wants to go to Lancaster, and they said yes, he's welcome. He wants to take a look at it from an IT perspective. So I got the information. He'll just have to email. So I'll get a hold of him hopefully tomorrow if I'm not working.
Bob, just to add on to that report, the safety, the bipartisan safety grant that we applied for, myself, Robert, and Dan, Catapult is listed in that grant as one of our programs that we would purchase from that grant if we receive it.
And so forth. And I know other districts in town are also now looking at Catapult, including where I'm subbing. So that's the big thing there. But and you agree, both of you, because you were there yesterday. It gets a little intense sometimes in the safety security meeting, but I prefer it that way because that means the message and everybody has got to listen to what's going on. As we've stated before, everything's on the table until we take it off. So, and, you know, and everybody is open to what's being said. That is probably the best part of this committee is that we're looking to basically make sure our campuses are safe and so forth. And so in order to do that, but we don't want to, as we said, have these kids calling home all scared and all this and that stuff. We want them just to say, hey, look, we're going to look at this. This is what we're going to do. Walk them through it. Okay, yes, we're going to go on a little lockdown. This is what we're going to do. Let the teachers take them through the whole thing. And I think we do that, and we do that enough. It's like fire drill. I mean, yes, what do we drill for? To get out of there. If we got a fire, well, then we just need to, you know, help them walk through. And then hopefully, we never have one, but if we do, it should by repetitiveness help them get through it a little bit easier and less panicky. And we still are talking about, but I've really got to get with the committee. We've really got to discuss that as well. Is, you know, something actually did happen. Parents are going to try to get there. And if we're just doing drills or other things, we want to make sure that information gets out there. So the parents are all running, because if, in fact, we have an actual scenario, parents aren't going to make it because the law enforcement's not going to let them around. They're going to block off all around it. So if we can get that explanation out to the parents of what is going on, and also Catapult will help in a lot, is that communication. And that's the biggest thing is communication out to the parents and guardians and stuff. So that's all I really have, unless Colin or anybody else. Did I miss anything? They're part of the community. Huh? Good. All right, comments from the public?
No.
None. We'll dispense with the reading. Consent items A through K. Anybody have any questions?
I do have a question. Why are the air filters and installation so expensive?
What's wrong with it?
Huh? Right. And it's like $6,500 for them to install it. Install it. It's like super heavy duty air filters.
Every single room has a filter, and you're paying for time. It probably takes them about an hour per, maybe half hour per unit.
My husband pops it in and out. It's like,
It's not there. They're outside.
Yeah.
Anyway.
okay, all right.
All right.
Make a motion to approve consent items with the correction. No, the correction already happened. That already happened. Did we already do that?
No, that's
That's later. Okay.
That's later. Okay, motion by Sunny.
Yeah.
Second by Moore. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. General, second reading and review of tropical middle school tardy policy. Mrs. Gaines?
Yes, sir. The tropical tardy policy is back for second time as an informational item. It will return on October 4th for as an action item the third time. The tropical tardy policy is on page 107. If you haven't had a chance to review that, please do. Mr. Sheldon, did you need to add anything to
I was
that?
just going to say that because last time I said that I meant to give you guys information. So,
Data.
so this is last year's compared to this year. So it's small, but I just wanted to have it on one sheet. So if you look at it in comparison from last year to this year, and it's even color coded, even though I couldn't tell you what colors they are, shade wise, but it is coded, so it makes it look pretty. Although I can't tell you what colors they are. So if you look, it says 41 to 19 That's kids that have 10 to 15 tardies. So it's 41 to 19. Last year we had 41 kids that were in that category. This year, 19 kids. Last year we had 28 kids that fell between 15 and 19 tardies. This year we have 2. Last year we had 20 kids that would already be ineligible for activities. This year we have 3. So clearly the message has gotten out. And I will tell you, the 3 kids, one of them is already on here from last year. We've been working with him. We've done football home. We've done even a home visit. We've done parent meetings with this child. We've even changed accommodations and stuff like that. It's just not working. And then the other 2, I can tell you, with that, I can tell you one of them. Another one, I'm not really sure why. It's just not going to pass. The other one is the same thing. We've done 2 parent meetings already. Parents, I don't want to say give it up, but it's like, okay, I mean, we're trying here. We're doing this. They've worked with us at home as well. But it does show you that we already would have had 20 kids ineligible. And we're going, second week into September. So clearly the message has gotten out. And I mean, it had them all. It would have been like 6 pages. And I didn't think we should show you that. This is really, to me, what we look at. And I tried to include you guys on my communications. So you see what is going out to the parents, where it's just I make some phone calls, but I also try to do that at least once or twice a week, where they'll get that update of, hey, this is how many tardies you're at, this is how many tardies you're at, so that and what I do like about the communication is that it'll keep a record as to how many times you communicated with the parent. So if we ever do have to come to you, or they do go to Miss Gaines, we can sit there and just type in their name, and I can say, Miss Gaines, no, we've already had 5 communications. Like I know I was talking with a parent on Friday with Miss Taylor. Now, unfortunately, it doesn't record our phone conversations, but had it been through communication with Aries or Parent Square, then it'd be easy for me to say to Miss Taylor, no, I've already communicated with this parent 3-4 times. So that's what I do like about it. So I go on there. I wish it was a faster way, but it is what it is. And we do start at 5 tardies with the messages home, or 4, I should say. This way it stops them before they get to the 5th. I will say there's probably about 200 kids that have 1 tardy. I'm not really concerned about that. That's probably the kid who just didn't get caught here.
And you notice it's mostly like the upperclassmen, 8th to 7th grade, rather
Correct.
than like a few 6th.
Well, it's hard for 6th grade. I mean, 6th grade is right. I mean, they're going across the grass.
Right.
I mean, aside from his Carlson's class, who's outside the quad,
Yeah.
they really shouldn't be tardy. Unless they go to their electives and stuff like that. But even most of our elective teachers are pretty gracious for the fact that they know that they're kind of going outside their normal, like with Connect Core and stuff like that. So they have grace. And I've told my teachers, you can have the grace whenever you work out with your students. If it's something that you know they're coming from lunch, you know they're coming from that blacktop, that's something you've worked out with them, that's your thing. I'm not going to intrude on your policies with your students. But that was also the same thing I said to them last year. I actually thought, and I said this to Ms. Gaines when we first implemented this could also shoot us really badly in the foot if my teachers are like, well, then fine. I'm gonna Mr. Warfield, I'll say, no, I'm just saying that, all right, well, then fine, we're gonna mark the target. You know, I'm just saying, because to show them that, oh, you need to get her time. And if anything, it's actually helped open up the communication. We just had our staff meeting today. Well, we said that to them. We've actually opened up more of a communication with the students, where Ms. Gaines was on campus, Dr. Mendez, where the kids, I mean, you really, a minute after the bell, campus is clear. That was not happening last year. Last year, a minute after the bell, it looked like the bell had just rung. So, but I do want to share that with you because I know that's one thing I did leave out even in my report last month, to share with you guys how many kids would have been ineligible. No, I didn't break it down to see how many kids play sports because it's regardless. Because I can tell you neither of these 3 kids play sports. But one of them who is I can tell you, one of them that's 15 right now is a Connect Board member. And we had that conversation today with the parent about how they're right there for Connect Board. And Lieutenant Ritz supports us 100%. That you won't go to XTC and you won't do this, you won't do that until January, if you get 5 more. So it's working. That's all I have to say.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. I'd like to add too is that the readings are for input from people. It's not just 'cause it's up here, we give you 3 readings. And the reason why I say this is because every once in a while I'll see some communications that somebody's complaining about it because they don't understand it. That's basically 90% of it. You get a chance to look at it, you get a chance to make comments about it. Next time, the next school board meeting, we vote it in without changes because you've given us.
Sorry, Mr. President, one last thing. On the bottom, I forgot to tell you, that is actually our overall targets on the bottom. And again, it's very small, but in comparison, last year at this time, today, we had 2,590 targets. And compared to today, we have 1,423. Now, I think that's a lot, but I'll take that as opposed to 2,500, which is a difference of 1,166 targets. So almost cut in half. So.
Okay. Approve resolution 22-24-04, Mayor adoption of the conflict of interest code.
Thank you. Basically, what this is it's sort of that resolution that reminds us and makes us aware and cognizant of the fact that as employees of the district, there are certain conflicts that we have to make sure we're not infringing on those conflicts. And we feel, I know the board has to fill out a 700 form, I believe it's a 700 form annually to keep everybody in line and make sure that we don't do that. So we just passed this to say, hey, just be aware that we do have this resolution, and Southern Kern does a good job by abiding by this resolution annually.
You have a motion?
I'll make the motion.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Approve of the revised 2023-2024 annual school calendar. Mrs. Argus?
Yes, so due to our shortage of instructional minutes, we needed to eliminate 4 minimum days. So October 11th, November 1st, December 6th, and April 24th will no longer be minimum days, they'll be full days. And that would fix so that every school site has the required instructional minutes that they need.
Would this allow the high school to have pep rallies?
No, it just barely puts us over the edge. That will have to be a different process.
And is this for every school in our district?
Every school will have those. Those 4 days will become regular days.
Elimination of the dates.
Second.
Second by Edwin, all in favor? Aye. It's on the list. When settlement requires a school in the district to have sufficient textbooks, e-books, or instructional material, or both that are aligned with the content standards adopted pursuant to section 1665 for instructional materials. Okay, I and then double I and 3, 4. Dr. Mendes?
I will make a motion that we go to recess. That way we can have any comments from the public.
Okay. 7:54. Do I have a second?
Aye. Second.
Okay. All in favor? Aye.
Take a few minutes to tell you.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, this is pretty much just, Just pretty much just ensuring that we have sufficient textbooks. In terms of our Williams visits, the findings were everything was fine at both West Park and then at Tropico, and then all other school sites filled out forms saying that we have sufficient materials in terms of digital licenses, physical textbooks, and so forth. It's just something that we share out annually with the board for information purposes.
Okay. Anybody have any comments? Anything to add? Go back in
Motion that we go back into the regular meeting.
motion by Mario. Second by Edwin, all in favor? Aye. Approve resolution 2023-24-03 regarding sufficiency of instructional material for 2023-2024 school year. Dr. Mendes?
Yes, so what they focus on here is make sure that we have enough instructional materials for our core subjects, including English language arts, mathematics, science, and history, social science. The information been verified. We also checked in with all site admin, and we do have sufficient materials, but it's something that we do report out for the board to take action there in terms of approving the resolution.
Okay, I'll make a motion to approve resolution 23-24-03.
Okay, do we have a second?
Okay.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
You?
May I?
Yes.
I'd like to make a comment if I can.
Yes, you may.
So Dr. Mendes, and please correct me if I'm wrong, I'm looking at A and I'm looking at B, and I see both of these are talking about sufficient textbooks. What is the difference in A and B, and where on here are we addressing the site facilities?
The site facilities is not included in here. It's the sufficiency of instructional materials. So they focus on the actual, like on the textbooks or the digital curriculum.
I understand what a Williams visit does. What I'm asking you is, what is the difference in A and B? Because I don't, it is pointed out to me, because I'm sure it's me, not you. I'm just saying, what is the difference I see regarding sufficiency of instructional materials and sufficient textbooks, e-books, or instructional materials? But I understand that we had both a curriculum visit and a facilities visit. Should not one of these be regarding facilities?
I've typically seen it separate, like A and B, not including the facilities when they report out. That's what I've seen.
So are you telling me then that one of these is for West Park and one is for Tropico?
No, the resolution is a document that just like the expectations in terms of sufficiency of instructional materials, and the other is a signature sign-off, like by the administration, that there's sufficient materials, which ties back to A.
That's okay.
I believe it is included in the backup documents, right? Let me see the page.
Barbara?
Yeah, page 116.
A's for each school site.
Okay, so the resolution is on page 117 and 118. That is part B. And then for part A, you have the signature sheets on page 116, 115, 114, 113, 112, and 111. So on there, it says the 3 criteria to certify, and this is something that the site administration signs off on in terms of the instructional materials certification, whereas the other is the resolution sufficiency of instructional materials for part B.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, C, review updates to the 2022-2023 Universal Pre-Kindergarten Planning and Implementation Program report. Dr. Mendes?
Yes, that is the Universal Pre-Kindergarten Planning Implementation Grant. And this is something that's pretty much is like a status report or an update. And they'll ask for these periodically. And this is for informational. So what we've included in the report are items such as staffing in terms of teachers, as well as classified staff, and particularly paraeducators. Any updates in terms of curriculum? We do have a new curriculum for TK. It's the creative curriculum teaching strategies, and teachers have access to that. In the past, what they've done is they reviewed different curricula that they were piloting, and they selected creative curriculum strategies. So I included that in the report as well. Updates in terms of classes, we have 2 TK classes, general ed at Roseman Elementary School. At West Park Elementary School, we have 3 general ed TK classes, 1 TK special day class there, SDC, and then we have 1 pre-K SDC at West Park Elementary. So that's information that's been included in the report, and it's just an update. They'll ask us periodically for like a status report on how we're doing in the overall planning. In addition to that, I commented that we're currently looking into options for the early education at the Roseman Elementary in terms of the old RES, and looking at the buildings there in terms of square footage and so forth. So I connected with Raleigh, and I included some of that information in regards to facilities as well.
Okay.
Those are some highlights from the report.
I have a question. Does TK and I'm trying to remember what all the acronyms are.
Preschool.
The preschool and the TK, I guess the toddler, smaller one. How are we funded as compared to full-time, say, first graders?
In terms of like the breakdown or the...
Yeah, because, for, I think right now we're at 7,800 and some change, I think, per student, for a full-time student.
Yeah, currently they're designated as full day TK and pre-kinder, but I had to get the specific number from Robert just to give you the accurate number there in terms of funding. So that's a good question. I'll write that down. I can get that information for you.
Okay, and the numbers in the classroom, what are they averaging? Students per classroom?
Students per class, I think like depends, for the general ed, I think it's at 24, 23 is what I've noticed on the most recent numbers that I've been looking at. But then also for like the SEC, we have about 12 in there. SEC TK was about 12, and there's should be like that two of the paraeducators, 1 to 2, depending on if it's the pre-kinder or the TK and how many students we have in there.
TK just actually did 13, the SEC TK. Pre-K has a little less, but they have current regional referrals for kids to assess that will most likely be added to the class.
Thank you. With that, I'll make a motion to approve.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Second, on
What are we approving? That was information.
No, it's
no action item. Oh, wait a minute, hold on, no, he's right.
Oh, okay.
No, jumped ahead, me too, I jumped ahead. Business operations, consider approval to apply for the 2023-24 California Department of Education District Consolidated Application and Reporting System for territorial funding of state and federal programs.
I have it.
Yep. Mrs. Dean's asking.
This action is an annual update as required by California Department of Education. Prior to the receipt of federal title funds, a school board must approve for the district to apply for funds. Traditionally, SKUSD has applied for funds for Title I, Title II, Title III English learners, and Title IV.
Now I'll make a motion to approve that one.
Okay.
I'll second that.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Personnel items, Ms. Burgess?
Yes, we have lots of folks on our personnel items today, and we ask that you approve as written with the word correct. It's on page 6.
Lindsay?
Yes, she's actually going to do after school academy teacher versus academy teacher.
You said after school versus.
She's going to be an after school academy teacher versus.
Does it make sense to assume?
No.
Okay, corrected them as well.
And the correction that we had on the page was what?
Six.
That correct, recovery is after school? That
Yeah.
was?
Yeah.
After school. Page 6.
Yeah.
Lindsay Williams. Right.
So she's on her front.
Oh,
But she's on a few different things.
Yes, it's a credit recovery one, the Saturday school.
oh, okay.
What is the accurate percentage?
55, okay. That's what it goes, okay.
Make the motion to approve with the corrections.
Okay.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
And finally,
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
I agree. I'll second it. All in favor?
Aye.
Here's 7.
Hold on a second.
Okay.